Hey everybody, how you doing? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Blender Basics, where the goal is to teach you enough about Blender so that you can make your own custom models and creations. In this video, we're going to take a look at user preferences in Blender. User settings in Blender differ a little bit than other software you may be accustomed to. And to demonstrate this, we're going to go ahead and toggle the visibility of these tooltips and show you how to make it persistent across multiple sessions of Blender. The first thing you'll want to do is go to File, User Preferences, and down here on the Interface tab of Preferences, there is a checkbox next to Tooltips. Now, as soon as we uncheck it, the tooltips stop working. So the way Blender differs is when you change things in user settings, they become active immediately. There's no OK button or Apply button to click. Now, another way Blender differs is if we were to open a new instance of Blender, most of you would think that the tooltips are going to be disabled in this instance of Blender. And that's not the case. And if we go here and we check user preferences, it's still checked, even though over here, the tooltips are turned off. The way you make your user preferences persistent is you must click Save User Settings. At that point, new instances of Blender will get the new settings. So this one has them still active. We're going to go ahead and quit that instance of Blender and start a new instance now, and we'll see that the tooltips are finally off. It's also worth noting that user preferences in Blender are just like any other area in the user interface. You can split them, you can change what's visible within them, and you can join them back together. Note that if we split the user preferences, close it and reopen it, it resets back to a single area. You can also change to user preferences in any of the other areas that are visible on the screen. Let's go ahead and look at some of the interface user preferences. I'm going to re-enable tooltips and I'm going to turn off the splash screen. You can get the splash screen back at any time by going to Help, Splash Screen. I'm going to click Save User Settings because that's how I like my Blender to behave. There's a couple user preferences that you can set to change how the 3D view responds to the mouse cursor. Notice right now that when I zoom in and out, no matter where the mouse cursor is, it zooms relative to the center of the 3D view. Likewise, if I rotate, it rotates around the center of the 3D view. We can change those behaviors with zoom to mouse position and rotate around selection. With zoom to mouse position selected, the 3D view zooms in relative to where I put the mouse cursor. And if we go ahead and select rotate around selection, now when I rotate the 3D view, it rotates around the cube that is selected. And you may find that helpful in your instance of Blender. When you select an object in the 3D view, 3 arrows representing the X, Y, and Z axes will become visible, and this is known as the manipulator. You can toggle the manipulator in the interface user settings by checking or unchecking this box. You can also change the size of the handles by clicking and dragging left to decrease and right to increase, or you can just type in a value and hit enter. If the value you type exceeds the maximum for the input, then it will cap it at whatever the maximum was. I'm going to go ahead and decrease these. You can also change the size of the manipulator, and the hotspot represents how close or how accurate your mouse click has to be for it to register that you've clicked the manipulator rather than something else in the 3D view. If I increase the hotspot to be rather large, we notice this time, even though I'm clicking a little bit far away, it's activating the manipulator. In the bottom left of the 3D view is a small mini axis representing the X, Y, and Z to show us the orientation of the 3D view. And this is helpful in case you turn off the manipulator or you've zoomed way in on your object. If you don't want the mini axes visible, you'll want to go to the interface user settings and turn it off. Or you can make it larger or brighter. Blender ships with and supports a large number of add-ons or plugins that you can find under the Add-ons tab of the user preferences. Sometimes you may download an add-on from the internet and it will end in a .py extension because they're programmed in a language called Python. If that's the case, you would do install add-on from file, browse to it on the file system, and then enable it. In order to enable an add-on, you might want to type in the name of it here to get a shorter list, and here's my screencast keys add-on. By toggling this box, the add-on becomes active, and we notice over here there's a button for screencast keys that says Start Display. When I hit play, there's now a little glyph down here showing you which keys I'm pressing as I use Blender. And I'll be using this throughout the remainder of my videos. With my screencast keys add-on active, it now makes sense to talk about the Input tab of User Preferences. Blender makes heavy use of the middle mouse button for rotating or panning the 3D view. If you don't have a third mouse button, or yours is not very responsive, then you can go ahead and enable Emulate 3-button mouse. At that point, using the Alt key and the left mouse button will then act as if it's the 3D mouse. So if I hold Alt, click and move the mouse, it rotates. Or if I hold Alt and Shift, then I can pan. In Blender, you use the right mouse button to select objects in the 3D view or to start moving them around. If you prefer to use the left mouse button under the Input tab of User Preferences, you'll want to select with left. However, you cannot enable select with left and emulate 3-button mouse at the same time. But now, as you can see down here in the bottom left, I'm using my left mouse button to move these objects. I recommend leaving it as select with right and just becoming accustomed to the way Blender works. You'll also find yourself using your number pad to change the view within the 3D view. If your keyboard does not have a number pad or you're using a laptop, you can toggle Emulate Numpad, and then the regular keys along the top of the keyboard will work as if they were the number pad. The last settings for User Preferences we'll look at in this video are under the File tab, and they are for textures and your image editor. If you'd like to set a default path where Blender should look for textures whenever you open them, you can go ahead and set that in here. And I have one under CW Blender Textures. And I'm going to go ahead and set that now. And if you want to set a default image editor such as GIMP or Photoshop, you can browse to the binary and set that here. This is the image editor in Blender, and with the default texture directory set, if I open an image, it defaults straight to that directory. And that's going to save me a lot of time in the future. That's going to do it for this Blender Basics video. I hope you found it useful. Please leave a comment or a thumbs up if you did, and I hope so much to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.